Hello, let's do the New York Times Hard Sudoku for June 1st, 2025. There's a link in the description if you'd like to try the puzzle yourself, and I'm going to get started right now. All right, let's do a quick geometry pass if we can. So for this, I'm mostly looking for stuff in this row, looking through, that has a buddy down here. So this one looks through, this one looks up, and that gives us pointing. There's a 1 in one of these two. I call this a crossing. It's just sort of a term I made up because these ones cross each other and they avoid this 7-8. So they kind of cross the 7-8 in two different directions. And so this cross shape here, you can see eliminates 5 cells out of the 9. And then there's 2 more filled with non-1s, leaving just 2 cells for the 1. So that's quite nice. And that always either is a hidden single if there's only 1 cell left, or pointing in this case. So these 1s do point down along with this one. This one looks in, putting a 1 in one of these two. What we learned is this cell here isn't 1. All right, I think that's what we get out of the 7 and the 8. This 4, 7, we'd be looking at the 3, 6 looking up, but there's nothing here to match it. All right, we've got the 1, 5, 8. So the 8 is in one of these two. The 1's already placed in the column. The 5 is one of these 3. Oh, actually, no, the 5's one of these two as well. Look, this cell can't be 5 or 8. So we've got this 5, 8 here, telling us these cells can't be 5, 8. These are obviously not 5, 8. They're filled with 1, 2, 9. And this cell here can't be 5, 8. And so there's only 2 cells left in the column that can be 5, 8, so they are 5, 8. That's called a hidden pair. So what we've done here is we've evicted any other digit from these 2 cells besides 5 and 8. So we thought they could be 4, 6, 7, 9. Well, not 9. We thought they could be 4, 6, 7, and now they can't be. I'm seeing we have 2 6s looking in here, and now this can't be a 6 because of the hidden 5, 8. So that places the 6. This is how you follow up on a hidden pair, is you look at what was eliminated. I might as well look at the rest of this box. We have 1, 2, 3. We need 4, 7, 9. The top one's not 7. So the 7's in one of these two, and that does point. With this 7 helps. Puts a 7 in one of these two. All right, very nice. All that from looking at this 5, 8 here. There may be more to follow up here, but I'm happy to leave that to when I scan the band. Let's move on and keep doing geometry if we can. We have 1, 4, 5, 6. So I'm not seeing... I mean, okay, 5 is placed. That's quite nice. Yeah. Just these 2 5s looking into that. Now anything looking, so this is filled, right? So anything looking through here or through here is going to be interesting that isn't already placed in the box. So we don't worry about the 1, we don't worry about the 5, but the 3 and the 6 are interesting. So 3 looking in puts a 3 in one of these two. Oh, it's even better. It's placed in the box. And then now we can follow up on those 3s, one of these two. How are we doing on 3 in this column? Since this can't be 3, in fact, we've got these 3s looking in, right? You can see these lining up, or you can just look at this column and see that none of these are 3. So the 3 is actually limited to up here somewhere. What we've learned is that means these are not 3. This is called claiming, similar to pointing, but this column needed a 3, and it's not in any of these cells. So one of these 3 will be a 3, has to be, because it needs to be for the column. But that also happens to also be going to be the 3 for this box. Because no matter where it ends up, it will be in box 1. And so the rest of box 1 can't be 3. Some people see it as an X-wing, but it's not a true X-wing because X-wings have to span 4 boxes, and this is only in 2 boxes. If you see an X-wing in 2 boxes, all you have to do is look for claiming or a hidden single in the column that they aren't in. So it's kind of degenerate. All right, anyway, we also had this 6 looking in, so 6 is down here. But I kind of want to just fill this triple. We know this is 6. We need 4 and 7 as well. Okay, I'm not seeing a restriction. But these 6s point in along with this 6. This 6 looks in, placing this 6. We can follow up on that, putting a 6 in one of these two. Now, I took a quick glance at this row for where 6 could go, but it was pretty open. All right, very nice. So is there any other geometry I might be able to find here? We've got 3 and 9. We've got 5 and 6. What's going on in this column? 4, 6, 7, 9. Okay, that's not helpful. We do know 7's in one of these two. I wonder if that's helpful. It is helpful. It places 7 in this column. So again, we can see these 7's lining up. That's a really good way to spot this. But also just having penciled these 7's in the quarter marks triggered me to look for 7 in this column because it's not placed yet. You can see this is now the only place for 7. So we can place that 7. Just because there's another place in the box for 7 doesn't mean I can't place it here, because the column needs the 7. Box does not take precedence over column. All of them have to obey all of the rules. And so that has to be a 7 because I need a 7 in this column. All right, I get that question sometimes. So like, why couldn't it have been somewhere else in the box? Well, somewhere else in the box was a different column. That's why. All right, and that does leave 3 digits left for this column. We need a 2, 4, and 9. Top one's not 4. And we know one of these is a 2. So that is going to claim the 2s. Yeah, it doesn't really claim the 2s. They already couldn't be 2. Okay. So I found that somehow. What was I looking at? Lining up these 7s, I guess. Okay. 6 and 7 here. The 3 looks in. We already have that marked. 3 and 6. We have the 9 and the 4. Unfortunately, they don't help. Huh. Well, this can't be 4, 9. That might be interesting because I'm noticing we have a 4, 9 still needed in the row. So this is limited. It could be 2. Can't be 3, 4. Could be 5. Can't be 6, 7. Could be 8. Can't be 9. So it's down to 2, 5, 8. I don't think these are going to be helpful. All right. Oh, I noticed we have these 2 7s. That's going to be very helpful. So let's place the 7 in this box, then the 3. I think I should get back to doing, I should be doing my normal scan at this point. I don't think there's any more like major geometry to find here. But I just got some 3s. So let's make sure we follow up on that properly. Yeah. So these 2 3s look up, putting a 3 in one of these 2. So this tells us we have a hidden 3, 6 pair, these overlapping corner marks. Because the 3 corner mark is telling us one of these 2 cells has to be a 3. And the 6 corner mark is telling us one of these 2 cells has to be a 6. Can't put a 3 and a 6 in the same cell. So one of them is 3 and the other is 6, leaving no room for anything else. And that's a hidden pair. So that removes 3 and 6 from these cells. So for example, the 5 looks in with this 5, putting a 5 in one of these 2. We're just going to point down with this 5, putting 5 somewhere here. So these aren't 5 anymore. That might be helpful. Almost helpful. All right. I'm saying almost because this row can have 5 here or here now. Anything else looking up through here or in through here? That might be helpful. Not that I'm seeing, but I think I should just, I don't know. Do I even scan at this point? Maybe I should, but I'm going to look at this box first, which is down to 3 digits. We need a 2, 8, 9. So the 8 is placed. Here's our 8 because of this 8. And then this is down to 2, 9 pair. And so what's left here? Looks like it's the 1, 4, 7. And that, oh yeah, and that's not 4 and that's not 7. Oh, this is a digit. There's 1 digit left in this row, so we can place it. It's an 8. And so that leaves, the 1 is down here. So these are definitely, we can mark these. We need the 2. We need the 4. And we need the 7. Yeah, okay, that was for the row as well, 2, 4, 7. Okay, let's go back up here and make sure we scanned everything. Yeah, we have these 8s looking in. This 8 helps. We just placed that, I think. That places the 8 here. We can follow up on these 8s, putting an 8 somewhere down here. It's at this point, this is a really interesting application of uniqueness. I'm not going to use it, but I will explain it anyway, and then we'll make our prediction. So what uniqueness tells us is that uniqueness is a classification of techniques that assume there is only one solution to the puzzle. We know that a New York Times hard Sudoku is only ever going to have one solution. They make sure of that. They're computer generated. Computers don't make mistakes like that. And it's designed to make sure it's unique. You cannot solve logically if it's not unique. And there's a specific set of logical techniques that you can use to solve the puzzles that it always adheres to. So we definitely know it's unique. So we know there's not 2 solutions. So what would happen if we narrowed it down? Let me just clean out some of this. I'll use undo to get it all back. But what would happen if we ended up with 5, 8 pairs like this? Well, none of these could be 5, 8 because of this row. The 5, 8 pair in this row takes 5, 8 out of here. 5, 8 pair in this column takes 5, 8 out of the rest of the column, and the 5, 8 pair in this column takes out the rest of this column. And the 5-8 pair in this box takes it out of the rest of this box. 5-8 pair in this box takes it out of the rest of this box. So there is nowhere we could put a 5 or an 8 that would resolve this pattern. Therefore, there are at least 2 solutions to this puzzle. In fact, there's an even number of solutions to this puzzle, either 0, 2, or 4, whatever. Because we could either put the 5s here and the 8s here, or we could swap them, put the 8s here and the 5s here, and either way, it would be a valid solution because they don't affect any other 5s or 8s in any of the rows, columns, or boxes. And so we have to avoid that because we know for a fact that that isn't going to happen in the green cells. What would happen if this was not a 5 or an 8? This is why I said it was kind of an interesting application of it. If this was not a 5 or an 8, then our corner marks tell us we have a hidden 5-8 pair here, forcing this to be a 5-8 pair, and that would give us what we call that deadly pattern, the unique rectangle pattern. And that's not allowed, right? So this purple cell here must be a 5 or an 8. That's my prediction. Let me undo this. So this cell here, I'm gonna just leave that one cell purple, and I don't know if it's 5 or 8, but I know it's gonna be one of them. But I'm not gonna actually use that. We could pencil it. Maybe it is down to just 5, 8. No, because 1 is possible in this cell right now. At least we know it's not going to be because of the uniqueness. But anyway, so thought I'd point that out. I think that's a neat application. Like you can really expand upon these uniqueness techniques and find some really neat things to do with that. Anyway, I know that the unique rectangle has like type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4 deductions, but if you just understand why it works, you don't have to worry about like, am I doing a type 4 deduction or something? I don't know the name. I don't know what they all are. You can just use logic and figure it out, right? From the basic principles of what uniqueness is telling us. We have to avoid a 5-8 here. In order to avoid the 5-8 here, this has to be a 5 or an 8. Otherwise, we end up with a hidden 5-8 pair here, and that's not allowed. Okay, cool. I was scanning, but I don't remember what. Let's go back up. All right, we got the 7s, the 8s, right? I was looking at 8s, I think, is what triggered that. So I haven't finished looking at 8s. 8s are one of these two. All right, and so we just proved what I was about to prove. So here we have these 8s lining up. So basically the question is, where does 8 go in this row? Well, it can't be here, it can't be here, it can't be here, and it can't be here. So 8 in this row goes in the purple, and my prediction is immediately shown true, which is that that cell had to be a 5 or an 8. All right, but even better, it was just a hidden single 8 in the row. All right. Now, what's interesting about uniqueness techniques is you can try to like backtrack. Like if you get a deduction out of a uniqueness technique, you can try to figure out if there's like a more like a non-uniqueness way of achieving that digit. But sometimes uniqueness lets you skip a whole lot of steps, and the only way other than uniqueness to figure that out is to solve the whole rest of the puzzle first. So it's not necessarily like a consistent way to find other pieces of logic about eliminations, which is why many people find it valuable for solving the more difficult puzzles. All right, I don't think it's ever necessary in this puzzle, but if you see it and you want to use it, play the game the way you want to, right? I'm not going to stop you. All right. So I think I've scanned this band. There's a little bit of low-hanging fruit here. Not that row. This box has low-hanging fruit. Four open cells in this box. So we need 1, 2, 5, 9. Well, we know these aren't 5, so we can just put 1, 2, 9 in them. Now this can't be 1, so it's 2, 5, 9. All right. This column is down to 4 digits. 1, 2, 4, 9. This can't be 2. It's 1, 4, 9. Okay, not helpful. All right, I'm not seeing anything else here. This band is completely penciled. I don't think we need to scan it. We should do some verticals though. Make sure I don't miss any verticals. The 8, the 7, 7 and 8. Does 7 do anything? No. The 4, no. And then we have 1, 5, and 8. Nope. Okay, it's all taken care of. Let's look at these verticals then next. I'll just go through these. 3, 6, 7. So 3's placed. Vertically we have it. The 6, we've got them. Vertically we did not mark the 6's, so it's in one of these 3. 7's are done there. 7's are marked here. All right, we have 3, 6, and 8. So the 3 and the 6 are taken care of. The 8's are taken care of. Yeah, okay. Completely done. Then 1, 2, and 7. 2, 7. Okay. So there wasn't really any more scanning to find here. This row is down to 4 digits. It is a 1, 4, 5, 9. 5 is in one of these two. 1, 4, 5, 9. How is there nothing? That's crazy. Okay. 1, 4, 5, 9. What else can I do then? This column, it's 5 digits. I don't want to do 5 digits yet unless I have to. Is this still 4, 6, 7, 9? I believe so. Okay, we have this 5, 8 pair, so this is 4 digits. We need a 3, 4, 6, 7. So we know the 3 is locked up here. How did I miss that? Darn. I went a little too quickly on that last box, but oh well. So 3, 4, 6, 7. Neither of these are 7. So these are 3, 4, 6. That's not a 4. And this can be any of 3, 4, 6, 7. So we have another kind of like quasi unique rectangle here, but that forces this to be a 3, 6, right? But we already know that. It's penciled there. Let's see. I must have missed something here. Obviously. But what is it? Is it this cell that I don't have corner marked? It sees 3, 6, 7, 8. 3, 6, 7 already in the row, so it just sees 8. That's not enough. 3s we have all marked up. How about 6s? So, yeah, I mean, they're marked as best as we can. Darn. I was noticing we had a lot of 3s and 6s. How about 8s? Yeah, the 8s are just reduced to this rectangle here. What about 9s? No? How am I missing something? Maybe there's a corner mark I didn't respect. We did find some pointing. So let's make sure I respect all that. 5s, 7s, 3s, 2s. 2, 9 pair here. We have the 1s. The 2 is up here. Might as well mark that. See what I can get out of this. 6, 8, 1. This is not 3. We already know that though. Okay. Yeah, we already know. There was something that this wasn't. The 1 maybe? Yeah, this isn't 1. It's not 1 or 3, so let's mark it up. It's not 1 because of our claiming ones and our pointing ones. So I want to bake that into our center marks. And I know we're down to at most 3 digits. So 1, we need 2. We got 3, 4. We need 5. We have 6, 7, 8. And then we need 9. So 2, 5, 9 is what's left there. In general, we need 1, 2, 3, 5, 9 up here. 1, 2, 3, 5, 9. That's not really helpful. Shoot. Okay. A little stuck on what to do. What about this column? Because this is a 3, 6 pair. So we need 1, 2, 5, 7. I think this could just be in any of them though. 1, 2, 5, 7. Yeah, as far as I can tell. What am I missing? 1, 4, 6, 7. 2, 7. Should I look at this column? It's got. I have to do 5 or fewer now. We need 1, 2, 4, 5, 9. 1, 2, 4, 5, 9. We need something to see 2 digits. 1, 2, 4, 5, 9. They just don't. This sees a 1 and this sees a 1. This sees a 2. Okay. These can't be 1, 2, 5, 8. This sees a 3. This sees a 2. This is not helpful. None of these are like restricted. Did I look at this column? Because I could. We need a 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Okay. So these are 2, 4, 6, 9. So this is 2, 6, 9. This can't be 4. And these aren't 6. So these are 2, 4, 8, 9. They don't see anything useful. 2, 4, 8, 9. Nothing is seen. I don't think this 2, 6, 9 does anything for me. Okay. Maybe there's a row that I need to look at. I don't know. I must just be missing an elimination that I already have on the grid. Or maybe there's like a hidden single somewhere that I'm missing. Wonder if I should try to pay attention to geometry. See if I can do another geometry pass. Because that's sometimes the best way to find a hidden single. See, we've got 2, 9, 1, 4, 6, 7. They're not here. I'm looking at some weird stuff here, but just looking at some chains in my head. I don't need to use chains, but sometimes they can be helpful to find something simpler. So like I'm seeing some crazy stuff here. Like this being 2, 5, or 9, no matter what, may have some impact on this box because it eliminates it from these 3. So for example, if it's a 2, then now the only place for 2 in this box is right here. So a 2 makes that a 2, which makes that a 5. So whether this is a 2 or a 5, it does eliminate 5 from the rest of the row. So the question is, would 9 also eliminate 5 from the row? That would give us an 8 here. That's called a cell forcing chain, where no matter what digit this cell is, it does the same elimination. Now, I don't know if 9 does that or not, but it does make that a 4. So 9, if this was a 9, it puts 9 in one of these two, and that would make this a 4, 7, 6. I don't know. There might be some chain that would eventually make this not a 5, but I don't know for sure. But anyway, that's not something I'd use in a video like this. But if you're looking for, like, if you're super stuck and you're looking for something to do, especially on a more difficult puzzle, that's the kind of thing you can look at and make an elimination. It's perfectly logical. Even if some would, especially if you can see it in your head. But interestingly, it makes this a 4, which makes that a 7, which makes that a 2, and the 2 there does make this a 5. So this is a different digit depending on what this is, so we can't use that. So if that's a 9, that's a 5. It's kind of interesting. All right, 9 would also make this a 2. Anyway, just things to think about. I'm trying to kind of reset my brain so I can get a fresh look at the puzzle while still talking about interesting things, maybe. But yeah, this is interesting. Okay, are we sure this cell's not limited? It sees 7, 8, 1, 3, 6. I think it's down to 4 digits, though. I think all 4 of the remaining digits are possible. I already looked at the column, so maybe these 2 cells, because they're not the 5, 7. Let's just write it out. We can always erase it. So I think this one has 4 digits. Yeah, this is the 1, 2, 4, 9 for the column. But what about this cell? It could be 1. It can't be 2, 3. It could be 4 or 5. It can't be 6, 7, 8, and it could be 9. So it's down to 1, 4, 5, 9. Which I think I looked at the row already, and that's why I didn't mark it, because the whole row was 1, 4, 5, 9. Oh boy. I do not know where to look. It's probably something I already have marked, and I'm just passing over it every time I glance through the puzzle. What would it be? Sometimes it's a corner mark that I just keep glancing over and not respecting. Oh, this can't be 5. Neither of these can be 5. So actually I do think this can be marked. And in fact, that place is 5 in this row. Okay, that's what it is. Darn. It's these lined up 5s, of course. Ah, how did I miss that? I saw it so many other times in this puzzle. But yeah, where's 5 in this row? This can't be 5 because we have the pointing or claiming 5s. Take your pick. And so this is the only place for 5 in the row, and that does place the 1 here as well. So now this is not a 5. That's a 2-9 pair. That's quite nice. So up here, we have a triple. It's the 1, the 3, and whatever else is missing. The 5. All right, that's a 1-3-5 triple. Leaving behind 2, 6. What did I miss? 2, 4, 6, 9. I don't see anything seeing 4. This can't be 6, so this is 2. Oopsie, 2, 4, 9. Oh, the whole column is 2, 4, 9. Come on, was that not enough to finish this? Reduce this to 2, 9. 2, 4, 8, 9 in this box. Surely 1, 3, 5 here does something. Or this 2, 9, this 2, 9. What am I seeing here? We do, yeah, sorry, I already know about the lined up 8s. We did the lined up 5s. This is 1, 4, 9 now. That's what I was going to pencil, and then I realized we got the 5, so I didn't finish penciling that. But that does put the 1 in one of these two. Actually, we kind of already knew that. So this can't be 1 then, right? It sees that 1 now. So this is 2, 4, 9. Still not seeing something. Surely I can finish this puzzle soon. 2, 4, 8, 9. I don't know. 1, 2, 5, 9. This is the problem with having so much marked up. But then the one things I don't have marked up maybe might be important. I don't know. Oh, we have a. No, we don't. I thought we formed something up here, but no, we don't quite. I saw this 1, 2, 9 and this 2, 9, and then I kind of glanced over and misread this as 1, 2, but it's not. It's 1, 3. 2, 4, 9. You know, the 2's here. So the 5s, this can't be 5. I wonder if I should pencil this then, because it can't be 5. It also can't be 1. So it's not 1, 2, could be 2. Can't be 3, could be 4. It is not 5 because of these 5s. Not 6, could be 7, and it's not 8, and it could be 9. So we're still down to 2, 4, 7, 9. 2, 4, 7, 9. I mean, we're so close to like a 2, 4, 9 triple here if this couldn't be 7, or a 2, 4, 7, 9 quad. So the question is, where are 5 and 8, I guess? This could be 8, this could be 5, or yeah, okay. So it's not that helpful. These two are the same digit through this 2, 9 here. These are the same digit. Not super helpful. Wow, I'm still missing something in this puzzle. It seems like we found enough. 3, 4, 6, 7. I'm tempted to just fully pencil at this point. It never really helps, but I just keep looking at the same cells over and over again and rethinking about what they are. So maybe this is helpful. Okay, it's down to 1, 2, 5, 7, and it's not a 1 anymore. So it's 2, 5, 7. So 1 in this column goes here. There we go. This 1 gave us this 1. That's what I missed. That's a 4. So these can't be 4. These can't be 4. That's not 4. So that places the 4 here. That gives us a 9 here and 4. That's 1 and 4. That's not a 4. So we have a 2, 9 pair here. Perfect. So this is now 4, 8. And this 4 tells us this is 8, this is 4, which gives us 5 and 8, which gives us 2 and 5 and 7, and that's 9 and 2. All right, so this ended up being 2. Anyway, that's 9, 2, and 9. That's 7 and 2. Okay, we finally cracked it. That's a 2. We get the 4. Let's clean this up a little bit, but we're almost done. That's 9. That places the 2 in the box. That can't be 2. This is down to what? What's the other digit? Oh, the 2. 269. It's down to 2. Yeah, this can only be 6 out of 269. That's 9, that's 2. We get the 3, 6, 1, 5, whatever this is. 9. Nope. Oh no. Did I make a mistake? Let me back up a little bit. Maybe it's a recent mistake. Back to here maybe. So we get the 9 in the 2. So that erases that 2. This was 269. This can't be 2 or 9. So this is 6, giving us 3 and 6. That gives us 4. One of these better be 9. It's not this one though. This is 9 and 2. So this is 1. We get the 3 and the 5 and 9. Okay, I don't know what happened earlier. We get the 6, 7, 6. We get the 3 and 7. We're done. Phew. Oh, if I'd made a mistake right at the end there or earlier on, and that's why. Oh my gosh. Luckily, I mean, I'd have to go back and look at the footage. I must have like mistyped a number or like gone too fast, but luckily I was able to backtrack and figure out where the mistake was. Okay. I think there was a mistake anyway. Maybe I just misread what digit had to go here, but either way, managed to backtrack and fix it. That's important. Cool. Well, this was an interesting puzzle. It had some interesting, a lot of interesting hidden singles in this one. Some interesting geometry. I also got to talk about the uniqueness here, how this couldn't be 5/8, so this had to be one of the 5/8, and then we also had the same thing up here. But I mean, we'd already deduced that in other ways. It's kind of funny how it resolved itself immediately. Like as soon as I said this had to be 5/8 and I moved on, I immediately placed an 8 there. Anyway, let me know how you did. If you enjoyed this, why don't leave a like, subscribe, and a kind comment below.